Chapter 3 Making My Own Decisions. The next morning, bright and early, I ran up to my classroom before school started. Mrs. Starsky was just getting there, wearing a brand new pair of icing-free shoes. "Hello, Willie," she said. "How is our school's new political candidate doing today?" I looked down at the floor, which still had a vivid orange volcano cake stain, and said, about that candidate thing. I've thought it over, and I don't think I want to run for president after all. I don't really want to run in the first place." Miss Starsky looked sort of puzzled. "But Willie," she said, "you seemed so fired up about it just a day ago. What happened?" "I don't know," I mumbled. "I guess I just wasn't myself yesterday, and running wasn't even my idea." Starsky gave him the dreaded understanding teacher smile. "Oh, William, I have a little story I think you should hear. Why don't you have a seat?" I sat, and she launched into one of those inspirating pep talk stories that teachers save up for these special moments. "You're not going to believe this, Willie, but I was once a shy kid." Miss Starsky had been shy? I found that hard to believe. This was the woman who sang the Star-Spangled Banner on the intercom every day during morning announcements, even though she was 100% tone deaf. But then my best friend persuaded me to try out for the middle school cheerleading squad. She was always much more daring than I was. Kind of like your fearless friend Lizzie. I tried my hardest to get out of trying out. I pretended my throat hurt. I tried to tell the coach I had sprained an ankle. I even claimed that someone else had signed my name on the tryout list. Can you believe that? I smiled at her, weakly. But my friend wouldn't give up on me. And when the day came, there I was, standing on the line at the edge of the basketball court in a hot pink leotard. Ew. Miss Starsky beamed at me. By the end of the session, I even found the courage to let myself get flung up in the air from the top of a pyramid formation. So you see, Willie, sometimes you have to rise to a new challenge, even if you do have some second thoughts the morning after. Shaking my head to erase the weird image of Miss Starsky flying through the air waving pom-poms, I asked, "So, what happened with the tryout? Did you make the team?" Just then the bell rang to let everyone in the building. "Oh, look at the time. This was a lovely chat, Willie, but I have to write the homework on the chalkboard now. Please think about what I've said, all right? If you still really want to drop out of the election, you can let me know by 3 p.m. today." "Oh, come on, Miss Starsky. You can't tell me 90% of the story and then not let me know how it ended. Please tell me what happened." She laughed nervously. "Please, just tell me. Did you make the team?" "Well," she said, "I didn't quite. I mean, there was a little problem with the pyramid stunt, but the dentist at the hospital did a great job of fixing my front teeth. And in the end, after some minor plastic surgery, I learned some important life lessons." Swell, I thought. She tried the new experience and escaped with nothing worse than a smashed up face. That was tremendously comforting. As the rest of the class arrived, I thought about Miss Starsky's request to wait until the end of the day to drop out of the race. I didn't see the point because the facts weren't going to change by then. Math was math. In the margin of my notebook, I started to write down the equations that will control the outcome of the election. Me equals dork. Lizzie equals dork. James equals popular kid. Craig Flynn equals scary tough kid. Popular kid plus scary tough kid equals unbeatable combo. Dork plus dork equals very beatable combo with possibility of record-breaking landslide defeat. My pencil point broke, and I got up to sharpen it. When I got back, Dodger was standing silently next to my seat. I waved him away, and he strolled over to take a nap in his favorite spot on top of the radiator. Sitting back down, I saw that Dodger had added another line to my calculations. Dork plus magic equals fun. I groaned. As you can probably tell, Dodger's definition of fun was remarkably similar to my definition of trouble. At lunch, I told Lizzie about my conversation with Miss Starsky. She spent the next 20 minutes attempting to convince me that I should run no matter what happened. Then we went outside for recess, sat down under a tree, and kept right on arguing. Two shadows fell over us. I looked up into the sneering faces of James and Craig. "So," James said, "are you planning your election campaign or your wedding?" "Ooh, good one," Lizzie retorted. "Did you think of that by yourself, or did you ask a first grader for help?" James said, "You know you're totally going to lose, don't you? I mean, I'm the best candidate. I've been on student council since kindergarten, and I have tons of friends, and you're you." Lizzie stayed calm, looking James right in the eye. She said, "You know the election isn't just a popularity contest. A lot of kids in our grade would be happy to vote for an intelligent, thoughtful candidate who has a good understanding of the issues surrounding. Hey, what are you laughing at? James is practically doubling over with glee. The issues, he wheezed between fits of laughter. So you think the election is about the issues? Oh, that's a good one, the issues. Okay, Mr. Expert, what's the election about then? It's about me being the best and everybody else knowing it. And if you know what's good for you, you'll get your friend here to drop out of the race before things get really embarrassing. Lizzie was fuming. When I was little, there was this kid named Davy on our block. Davy had this tiny, short-legged lapdog that looked like the weakest animal in the world. The first time I met Davy, I asked him the name of the dog, and he said Bloodfang. I almost laughed, but then about a week later, I saw a huge German Shepherd running past my house in a panic. A moment later, Bloodfang came charging after it. The German Shepherd practically ran up a tree to escape Bloodfang's rage, and I don't think it ever came back down to our street. If James didn't back off fast, he was going to find out that Lizzie's parents should have named her Bloodfang. Listen, James, I said, I don't really want to run anyway, so I'm sure we could work this out so that everybody is happy if you just stop being so insulting. Lizzie elbowed me aside. Yeah, James, we'll drop out of the race. All you have to do is ask nicely. Craig, who hadn't said a word this whole time, said to James, Hey, that sounds fair. Why don't you just ask the dorks? Sorry, Willie. Sorry, Lizzie. To drop out. James whirled to glare at his running mate. James Beek doesn't ask, Craig. James Beek tells. James Beeks has been running unopposed in these elections for years, and he isn't about to stop now. He turned back and stared us down. What do you say to that, Lizzie? I say James Beeks sounds like a moron when he talks about himself in the third person. Okay, how about you, Wimpy? Are you ready to step aside and let a real man run? Or are you and your ugly girlfriend going to embarrass yourselves even more than usual? Lizzie bit her lip. She didn't look very bloodfangish anymore. In fact, she looked like she might be about to cry. Suddenly I heard an angry voice alarmingly. The voice was coming from my mouth. Oh, we're running, Beeks, and we're going to kick your sorry butts. Oh man, I thought, I've definitely been hanging out with Lizzie and Dodger too much. At the end of the day, I told Miss Starsky I would stay in the election. She smiled radiantly at me and said, Excellent. I've been itching for a real election campaign around here for years. We'll set the elections for 2 weeks from now, right before Thanksgiving. This will be a great learning experience for all of us. As the afternoon sunlight slanting through the classroom windows reflected off her teeth, I was pretty sure I could see a line where one had broken off and been glued back together. I gulped and prayed that my learning experience with the election would work out better than hers had on the pyramid. On my way out of the building, I passed the gym where a bunch of James Beeks' cool female friends were already practicing cheers for him. Yeah, James, go Beeks. We know you can beat the geeks. It was going to be a long 2 weeks.